Hey there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do something totally different, and that is share with you books that are celebrating their 50th birthday along with me. If you follow my channel, you know that this month, during the month of May, I am going to be celebrating my 50th birthday. I turned 50 years old, and I am really excited about it. I know people have made comments. I'm glad that you're embracing it. Well, you may as well. And so I am just decided that I'm going to celebrate and have a good time and be appreciative of the things that I have learned along the way and the experiences I've had over the past 50 years, and just look forward to the next many years ahead and plenty of books to read during that time as well. So these are some books that I just decided it would be a fun way to celebrate by looking for books that are celebrating 50 years. And so I just kind of looked up books that were published in 1972, and I found books of all different genres and categories and age groups, and I just put together a list of 10 that I found to be either interesting or some of my favorites. Now, I was pleasantly surprised to see several books on this list that are actually all-time favorite books. In fact, one of them was my most favorite book for many years as a child. It was the book I just always went back to, and it really made me the reader I am today. So I was excited to see that. Another book that I had discovered last year that was a favorite is on this list as well. So there is just a variety here. There's some books that I've never heard of, but it sounded interesting, and then others that I have heard of and thought I would give a try. So here we go. So the first one on the list is by Phyllis Whitney. Now, I've read several Phyllis Whitney books. She's similar to Daphne du Maurier if you enjoy her works, which I do. And she wrote romantic suspense. And this one is called Listen for the Whisperer. I love the cover. It looks dark, sort of ominous. But this book apparently is set in Norway. Again, I haven't read this one. It's a girl who never knew her mother, but on her father's deathbed, his last request is for her to go meet her mother. I think that's what this is about. When she goes to Norway to meet her mother, there's also this murder mystery from the time when her mother was an actress, and she was on the set of, I think it was called The Whisperer. The Whisperer was the name of the movie that she was playing this role as the leading actress, I guess, in this movie, The Whisperer. And so there is a murder mystery. Of course, it's romantic suspense, so there'll be some sort of romance in this one as well. So I look forward to reading this one. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments what you think. The next one is The Stepford Wives by Ira Levin. Ira Levin wrote Rosemary's Baby. If you remember that, I think that was made into a horror movie many years ago. I remember seeing that on late night television and being scared to death over that one. But this is more, from what I gather, because I know they made a movie of this one. This one is more of a dystopian science fiction type book. And so I am interested in reading it. It's less than, I think it's like 145 pages. So I do plan on reading this. If you've read it and you know more about it than I do, I don't want to say too much because I think the premise of that, from what I remember, would be giving away too much. But if you've read it, let me know that as well. The next one is a fun one. It is a middle grade book that I remember very well, and that is Freaky Friday by Mary Rogers. Of course, again, they made movies of these because those good ones they always make a movie of. And you've probably seen the movie. I think they made a couple of movies of this one. But this one is about a girl and her mother, and they magically end up in each other's bodies, and they have to live life from the other person's point of view. So it's just a fun little story. Again, 1972. I love that 70s cover on this one. And then this one I remember reading probably about 5th, 6th grade. It's called The Upstairs Room by Joanna Race. This is a World War II about, I can't remember it exactly. I do remember enjoying this one. It was a Newbery Honor book. But I'm thinking that they hid maybe a child in the attic or a family in the attic or something like that. But I do remember enjoying this, and I plan on rereading this one as well. Another one that I have never heard of, I don't know anything about it, but the cover looked interesting, and it is called Clone by Richard Cowper. Never heard of this one, but isn't that a great cover? This one I think is a sci-fi about clones. So just what the cover says, the title says. So we shall see. If you've read it, let me know in the comments. Now this one I picked up last year, and I didn't realize it was a 1972, but I picked it up because it was by P.D. James, and I was interested in reading more P.D. James. And this is called An Unsuitable Job for a Woman. But I will say I did not finish this one. I kept it because I had seen that it was from 1972, but I got to probably halfway through this one, and it became this college life partying sort of scene that I just was not interested in, so I didn't finish it. If you think I should finish it and it's worth the read, let me know. And then I was excited to see that there was an Agatha Christie that was published in 1972. If you follow my channel, you know that I'm trying to read through all the Agatha Christies, and that is Elephants Can Remember. I don't know anything about this one. I don't know if it is part of one of the series or not. I do know it says that Ariadne Oliver is in this one, and I remember being introduced to Ariadne Oliver in The Halloween Party because I had read that one. Then I have some that I have saved the best for last because these are books I have actually read and enjoyed. The first one is All Creatures Great and Small by James Herriot. I was super surprised to see that this was a 1972 book. I was so happy to see that, because this was one of my favorite reads from last year. I picked this up last year and fell in love with James Herriot's writing style. It's just a slice of life sort of story. It's about a vet and his ins and outs, daily living, taking care of the animals, and going to the different farms and things, just village life, slice of life sort of stories. They're funny. Each chapter is like a different episode. They're super funny, and I want to read more in this series because there's several of these in this series. This is the only one I've read. They do have 2 different TV adaptations. I've started one of them, but I want to go watch both of those series and watch them all the way through at some point. But I do want to read all the books first. And this also is, if you follow my channel, you know that I am in the Kindred Spirits Club hosted by Kate Howe. And this happens to be this month's book that we're reading for the Kindred Spirits Club. And so thank you, Kate, for picking this one because I thought that made it extra special. This is a great book if you've not read it. I really recommend picking this one up. And it would be a great one now during this time of year. For some reason, it just feels like a fun spring read to me. Another one that was an all-time favorite that I remember reading as a child was otherwise known as Sheila the Great by Judy Blume. I've mentioned this one on my channel before because I love Judy Blume. I was a Beverly Cleary Judy Blume girl, and I read pretty much everything Judy Blume or Beverly Cleary wrote, and I remember this one being a favorite, and I love this cover on this one. It is just so cute. I loved getting this hardcover of this one. And if you have kids that are elementary school age, pick up some of these because these are super fun. But the book that makes me the happiest to see on this list that also is 50 years old is Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Judy Blume. This is another Judy Blume, and I did not realize they were published in the same year, but this book made me a reader. When I was in 4th grade, I mean, I'd already fell in love with reading, but when I was in 4th grade, I read this book and I reread it and I reread it and I reread it. I just loved it so much. And it was just a favorite for so long. And it is so relatable as a 4th grader. And that showed me what I could find in books, the comfort of reading about people and their situations. Just, I found so much comfort in this book. But this book was such a special book for me, so I was so excited to see that it was also born in 1972. So these are just some books that I found when I was treasure hunting for this video to post. I was excited to pick these up. Just 10 books that shared the same year I was born, 1972. They were all published in 1972, so they're celebrating 50 years along with me. I was really excited about finding these. And I do plan on reading the ones I haven't. Have you ever looked up books that were published the year you were born? Let me know that in the comments. And check, if you haven't, go do that today. See if there's a book that maybe was an all-time favorite for you. You might be surprised. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.